He was the last prophet of God. Okay.
By definition, if you're going to be a prophet, you have to prophesy. Can you give me a prophecy out of the Quran?
So many. And each and every single one of them are exactly from the time of the
We've been waiting here for 45 minutes. Can somebody help Eva, please? Somebody bring one prophecy that Muhammad stated.
Keep reading these Bibles, these books, but what I'm trying to tell you is, how can you know that there is proof if there is nothing from the time of the people who actually, you guys are thinking that said it?
Right here, we got the prophecy.
You keep showing me that. Where is the actual historical?
We can show you that. We can show you that. We can show you that.
There isn't.
All right. We can show you that. We can show you that. We're gonna show you the prophecy because there ain't no prophecies in the book of the Quran. Can you give me a prophecy out the Quran?
I'll give you so many.
Name
and
one.
Each and every single one of them are exactly from the time of the
Name one. We'll wait. Don't worry. Bring it up. We'll wait. Because the Bible is our evidence. The Bible said blacks and Hispanics, the Jews was going to go into slavery on slave ships. Deuteronomy 28:68. I can show you right here, right now.
That's right.
Easy Bible. I can show you World War III, Joel chapter 3, right here, right now. Right now, prophecies that happened 1,000 years ago are prophecies that's happening right now. But Palestine being destroyed, bring it out. I ain't gonna take the time. Go ahead. Bring that out. Bring that out. Go ahead.
Read the book, Islam and Judaism. What's the name of the book? From Babylon to Timbuktu.
So the first thing, this one thing I want to address, what the brother said, about there being no historical evidence. The Bible is the most historically referenced book on the planet. Everything is based off scrolls. Everything is based off scrolls. All these books, it was compiled into one book. It was compiled into one book. The writings of all these things was compiled into one book. And in different languages. There's something called the Septuagint, which was the Bible written in Greek times, in the Greek, translated from the Greek. There's the Torah. All these are, there's already original accounts of these things. Now here's the thing, here's the difference. The scrolls tell you this, because you're talking about an oral tradition. An oral tradition cannot stand up to a written tradition. Why? There's a game called telephone. I tell you this, then you tell this next person this, then you tell them that, and it gets diluted over time. But guess what? Guess what the difference in the Bible is? That even after hundreds of years of it being translated, they found old, like for example, they'll give you an example of the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? Where they found the scroll, let me explain my point. They'll find the scroll of Isaiah, right? Isaiah is already around 600 years before Christ. And exactly what it was written in Hebrew, that's been translated, that's exactly what the scroll said, even after over 1,000-year difference. Why? Because it was written down. The words are the same. Right. They're not playing a game of telephone with oral tradition. So there's a difference. So your point about it being there's no historical document, there's on every single line is the most historically documented book ever in history. Your book is not just that way. But now let's go to more history about when your people converted to Islam, when your people started Islam. Let's read.
The Prophet Muhammad adopted many principles and laws from the Jewish religion.
You know that already. He adopted many laws and customs from the Jewish religion. Why? Because before that, you were pagans. Read.
Muhammad adopted also the main details of the Jewish calendar. The Day of Atonement, the Sabbath.
Read up here, first of all.
First of all,
Babylon and Timbuktu. Show them. History book. Babylon, Timbuktu.
Keep reading.
Just because. We didn't write the book. book. It's a famous book. We're bringing evidence. Think about it. Everything we're saying, we're bringing evidence. And you're saying that, and guess what? You're saying there's no history, there's no nothing, and yet we're bringing history books to you, but nothing is ever good enough for you.
No. When you bring history, you gotta bring who's the historian? Is he a scholar? Is he not?
He's a scholar.
Monotheism,
Wolf or wizard. He's a scholar. Read.
Keep looking for the prophecy.
which is the belief in one God.
His job is to find out records and is a scholar. That means he's not a part-time scholar. He's a full-time scholar, sacrificing decades of his life to this. So he's not like, it's like part-time, it's not Uber for him. So he's a scholar. Read.
The Jewish confession of the unity of God is,
read that part.
first of all, the basic idea of monotheism,
Which is belief in one God. Read.
which is belief in one God. The Jewish confession of the unity of God is,
So that goes into because the Jews believe in one God. What's his name? Muhammad. Muhammad wanted to believe in one God. Why? Because he was around the Jews. Read. Now read the green part.
Muhammad adopted also the main details of the Jewish calendar. The Day of Atonement.
We have a Day of Atonement. That's in the Old Testament that we have, that we must worship, right? That's a day where we must fast. The idea of fasting comes from us, of not eating. You just take it and pervert it. The idea of praying certain times a day, 3 times a day, 5 times a day, that comes from us.
That's right.
There's nothing original Muhammad did. It came from us. It just said he did it. Keep reading.
The Sabbath.
We've talked to people that's older than you in your religion. They agree to that. This is not an arguable point. They know this. Keep reading.
Much of the Bible and narratives from the Midrash and many points of the ritual law. Incidentally, the Jews pray 3 times a day, facing the city of Jerusalem.
That's an interesting custom. Read.
And
what is it about the Muslim?
And the Muslim, true believers pray 5 times a day, facing the city of Mecca.
That's their holy city. So if Mecca's their holy city, why are they fighting over Israel? If that's their holy city. Let's see. Keep reading.
Trying his best, Muhammad sought to convert the Jews.
So think about it. He just basically tried to take our belief to create his own religion, and now he's trying to convert us to the religion he just made up.
Based off our belief.
Now read.
Sought to convert the Jews into his new religion.
Wait, his old religion?
His new religion.
New religion. Read.
But to no avail.
No avail. The Jews were not trying to convert to Islam. If you know the history of Islam with the different caliphates and Muhammad who led different war campaigns, you know the people who became Muslims wasn't by choice. Keep reading.
The Jews were adept and resistant to change. The high esteem which the Prophet held for the Jews would transform into enmity.
Meaning, Muhammad respected the Jews because he basically took their whole religion. And then, because they wouldn't convert to his religion, he turned that love into hate. Because let's go into history. Let's keep reading.
And instead of allies, he looked upon them.
This is before this. Keep reading.
He looked upon them.
We're talking about 600 AD. We're talking about 600 AD. And let's keep reading.
As competitors, Muhammad needed the confirmation of the influential Jews to validate his mission. Muhammad therefore turned against the Jews and became their tormentor.
Muhammad became their tormentors. He killed the Jews and started to enslave the Jews.
I got slavery. Real quick, this is to back up the officer, back up history. We got more history. This is a book, this is an excerpt out the book Slavery in the Arab world. We did not write this book.
Arabs had slaves.
Arabs, Palestinians have black people as slaves. This is page 152. Muhammad, the famous Arabian imposer, appeared in the early part of the 7th century and established a new religion, which by force of arms made a rapid progress in the world. Many of the Jews, after the destruction of their country, had fled to Arabia. So who destroyed?
Funny how you guys
Hold up. Who destroyed the Israelites? Muhammad.
Scholars.
Their number and respectability induced Muhammad at first to treat them with great attention. He ordered his followers, when they prayed, to turn toward the temple of Jerusalem. After they turned to Mecca. That's where the turning to Mecca was based up to the turning of Jerusalem. There's a copycat religion.
No. It's so.
And adopted many of their opinions and customs in order to engage them in his interests. So they adopted, based Islam off the Bible to gain Jews into following their faith. There's more. In his Quran, he reproaches them with betraying and murdering the prophets and styles them a people justly cursed of God for their violation of his Sabbath and laws, for their treatment of Jesus Christ. So that's why he based the slavery of the Israelites, of the black man. And we got your Quran too. The Quran, I got the excerpts right here of the Quran mentioning the children of Israel is his chosen people. Go ahead.
Hey, Ibrahim, think about it. Your whole point was about us not having historical evidence, and all we've been showing you this whole time is historical evidence, and you haven't shown one. It's something, we're going to history that they're not. You see what he's using? He's using he's using. Isn't that like anti-Semitism?
Anti-Semitism.
Oh, you're using a word to try to shut down what's being played just because you don't like it, how it affects your people. This is reaction. Okay, let's read your book.
You guys want to have a discussion, or you guys just gonna keep?
Let's read your book.
This is the cow. The cow.
Let's read it.
The cow. O children of Israel.
This is cow 240.
Cow 240. O children of Israel.
Okay.
Call to mind my favor,
But we know we are the children of Israel.
Right.
which I bestowed on you, and be faithful to your covenant with me. I will fulfill my covenant with you, and of me alone, should he be afraid. O children of Israel, call to mind my favor, which I bestowed on you, and that I made you excel the nations.
God made us excel all the nations. Above all people. Above all people. Well, let's get that in the Bible.
Hold up.
Let's get that in the Bible. Let's see, was that taken? Where's Muhammad? Where did he take that from? Where did he plagiarize that
There's
from?
more though.
Read.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people
God chose the Israelites to be a special people. Read.
unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Above all people that are on the face of the earth. Just like it said in your book, excelling all other nations.
Right.
So he just took it straight from the Bible that you say. And think about it. If your prophet took it from the Bible and you don't even accept the Bible, let that sink in. Does that make sense? Make it make sense. The math not mathing. You saying they have no historical evidence. Wait, your whole religion is based off this. Your whole religion. We've read it in history. You're not the first Muslim to come here. You're not the first supposed to be
haven't
coming
had
here.
a
He's supposed to be out for years.
We haven't had a discussion.
Did you find a prophecy yet in your book?
I can show you prophecies. Hold on. You want to show you prophecies? I can tell you prophecies without even turning it on. Look, the barefoot arrow. The barefoot arrow.
I could just say you don't got not one. You're not using anything, piece of literature, information to verify anything that you're saying.
Evidence.
But, Ibrahim, this is what you've learned today. You've learned that
Islamophobic people. What am I gonna learn?
Islamophobic
Who's
people?
Richard? Do you even know who Richard is? Who's Richard? Can you tell me anything about Richard? Go. You're telling me this is history. Who's Richard?
You're just gonna question everything.
Can you just answer the question?
Who's Muhammad?
Muhammad was the prophet of God, the last.
He was the last prophet of God. Okay. Okay. Let's read the Bible.
But Amos 2, real quick. To be a prophet, you gotta prophesy.
Bring it out.
Hold up. By definition, if you're gonna be a prophet, you have to prophesy. Can somebody, can you produce your calls in the city of Patterson? Can somebody help? Please. Somebody bring one prophecy that Muhammad stated. We've been waiting here for 45 minutes. Bring it out. Read the Bible.
The book of Amos, chapter 2 and verse 11. And I raise up of your sons for prophets, and of your young men for Nazarites. It is not even thus, O ye children of Israel.
Read that again. Hold on. What is that saying? All prophets from God only come from the children of Israel. That's it. That's according to God's words. He never dealt with anybody else. Read it again for Ibrahim.
And I raise up of your sons for prophets.
God is saying, I raise up of your sons, the subject is Israel, prophets. Read.
And of your young men for Nazarites.
For Nazarites. Read.
Is it not even thus, O ye children of Israel?
O ye children of Israel. The only prophets of God are the Israelites.
That's right.
So where does Abraham come? Where does he shoehorn his way into this? He's not an Israelite.
Right.
He's an Ishmaelite. Hold on. No. Think about it. Really think about this. According to the Bible, the children of Israel, only they can be prophets. Now, it just so happens that the creator of your religion, who calls himself the prophet, comes in and says, I am the last prophet. There will be no more prophets after me. And he's not even of the children of Israel. Think about this. All other prophets before Muhammad were Israelites.
Right.
So what does that mean? He's a liar. That's it. Every other prophet you know was an Israelite.
Isn't he still part of the family though?
No. Right. Let's get Romans 9.
Children. Who's the one that went to Saudi Arabia? Who's the one that was the Jews?
Okay.
Isaac and Ishmael, right?
Does God care about them?
What kind of person is that? That's God's supposed to.
The answer's gonna offend you. I can tell you that. Well, let's read. Okay, let's read. Let's read. Romans 9, start at verse 3.
The book of Romans.
We're reading the book that came before your book. That was taken by your so-called spiritual leader. If it was good enough for him, it should be good enough for you. Read.
The book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 3. For I could wish myself,
This is Paul talking. Read.
were accursed from Christ for my brethren,
Come on, you gotta read better, man. Keep going.
my kinsmen, according to the flesh,
What he said, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, this is Paul talking. Read.
who are Israelites,
Who are Israelites, right?
to whom pertaineth the adoption,
The adoption and getting adopted back is only for the Israelite. This is the words of Paul. Read.
and the glory
The glory of the kingdom of heaven heaven is only for the Israelites. Read.
And the covenant.
The covenant. That's the Old Testament, the New Testament. The Old Covenant, the New Covenant is for the Israelites. Read.
And the giving of the law.
The laws of God were only given to the Israelites. That's why when they violated the law, they were cursed. When they do the law, they're blessed. That's the agreement that God had with the covenants. To Israel. It wasn't to any other nation. Keep reading.
And the service of God.
The services of God. An example. The Levites, the sacrificing in the temple was all done by the children of Israel. Read.
And the promises.
The promises that God promised to Israel. That you have rulership over the entire earth. Immortality. It was only towards the Israelites. Keep reading.
Whose are the fathers, and whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came.
Saying Christ only came for the Israelites, according to the flesh. Why? Because you're an Israelite by blood. It's not that you convert into becoming one, like they do in other religions. You have to be born one. How do you be born one? Does your people fit the curses? Like, do you see yourself on this sign? Did your people go through the curses that God laid out for the Israelites? For example, a curse of the Israelites would be, they forgot they were Israelites. Did anybody other nation on the planet forget who they were? That only is a unique curse to the Israelites. You can trace your ancestry back 1,000 years and know that you're Muslim, that you were an Arab, that you're from the lineage of Ishmael. Most of the Israelites today can't do that because that was a curse from God. Keep reading.
Who is over all, God bless forever.
Read faster.
Amen. Not as though the word of God have taken none effect, for they are not all Israel which are of Israel. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham.
Hold on, that's the point right there. Abraham. Here's the main point. You said Ishmael came out of Abraham, right? But God did not make a covenant with Ishmael. Let's read, because Israel had other kids too. Esau, the so-called Caucasians, came out of Abraham. The Midianites came out of Abraham. All these other nations came out of, I'm letting you know, all these other people came out of Abraham. But God chose only one of those many people. Remember, Abraham's title was Father of Many Nations. But God only chose one nation that came out of Abraham. But Abraham was the father of many nations. Now it's going to tell you, what about the other nations? Read that again.
Neither because they are the seed of Abraham.
Just because they came out of Abraham, read.
Are they all children?
Are they his children? They physically came out of Abraham. The seed, his sperm, went into Keturah, went into, what's his name? Hagar, went into his wife Sarah. They produced children. Those children eventually became nations of people. So they're all children of Abraham. Read that again.
Because they are the seed of Abraham. Neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children. But in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
But in Isaac shall God's seed be called. So Ishmael came out of Abraham through Hagar. Wasn't chosen. He had to wait to have Isaac. That came out of Sarah. Isaac's seed will be called. Who's Isaac's kids? Jacob and Esau. And out of those two kids, Jacob was chosen, not Esau. Read.
That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God.
So what God is saying, all the other children that came out of Abraham, they're called children of the flesh. The ones that are not chosen. What did God call them? Read that again.
They which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of God, but the children.
So God is saying, Ishmael, who came out of Abraham, he's not the children of God. Esau, who came out of Abraham, he's not the children of God. That's plain to see. Only Israel, Jacob, whose name got changed to Israel, had 12 sons, the 12 tribes of Israel. They're called the children of God. Get me Amos 2. Hold that, get me Amos 2.
The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 2. You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So guess what? The whole earth is made with different nations and different families. God is saying what?
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
So God only knows one family out of all the ones that he created. Read.
Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
So, because God only knows that one family, which is the children of Israel, he will punish them. And he has, through history, shows it. They're the ones who went into slavery on slave ships. They're the ones who forgot their nationality. They're the ones who've been punished till this day, and they have not prospered at all in this land. And they're the ones that's still in captivity till this day. They don't control no resources, no matter where they go. This is the curse of God on his people that he gave the laws to.
Shalom, Israel. This is Bishop Nathaniel. I want you to know that you can view all our Sabbath classes live on IUIC TV. That's right, I said on IUIC TV. Download the app today. Shalom.
What is a nation? Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is men leading by example. Nation is women's support. Nation is children with role models. Nation is unity. Nation is you.